Ain't going back, not gonna buy into all that. Hey, hey, ain't gonna hide, gonna let all the fears slide. Got Mother Nature on my side, got all of the loving growing inside.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Odyssey of Truth number 3. 3 for me has been a magic number. It also rhymes with responsibility. And so we have felt, after much deliberation, we're going to call this one Creative Responsibility in relation to how you get back to yourself. Hey, Cambell.
Hey, going, Lorenzo.
Good, 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 good.
Yes, creative responsibility. It's a word that a lot of people don't like to be around, the old responsibility, but you know, of course, that's the crux, right? If we're not responsible for ourselves, well, we really sort of don't have the right to blame anyone, do we?
No, reflecting on what we've been talking about, like in one way or the other, Cambell and I have been sharing about responsibility since the first one. You know, 1, 2, this is going to be 3, 1.5, 2.5. The one that's going up very soon, even today, the Responsible You, is pretty much somewhat about that. And I would like to go a little deeper in this one on how you can creatively become responsible, and by using your responsibility, become creative. And, you know, it's funny, Cambell, that I've seen a few of the comments we've gotten from some of our last few videos. You know, I try to read them all, and, you know, we've been accused of being irresponsible by suggesting to people they're responsible by 1 or 2 people, which is funny. And, you know, I want to say to those people, if they're watching this one, you know, what you pick up in relation to responsibility is up to you or not. That's your responsibility. You know, and if we recommend to someone they're responsible for their lives, that's up to them to choose our advice as something they want to play with or not. Thus, their responsibility, and yours too.
Yeah, and it goes back to judgment and building filters, which is, you know, probably what we're going to get into. You know, it's how you put the word responsibility. It's just a word, right? There's that saying, nothing is good or bad, but thinking makes it so. So if, yeah, you've got to understand that if things are triggering you, making you get into a state that is unpleasant, that's you. It's you that's got to deal with you. It's not the outside world. As we've said many times, much easier to change yourself than to go out and change 7 billion people.
You know, and some of the people have mentioned, you know, about their comforts and not wanting to give up some of the, you know, and really one of the things that's the first to go out the window when you start this journey, when you start to become responsible, when you start to look back at yourself, you know, if you're going to consider the comfortableness of your life or lack thereof, you've already lost the game, in my opinion, because growing up, becoming responsible, the journey back to yourself is perhaps the most uncomfortable thing that you get to do if you choose to do it in this life. And, you know, that's the whole point, is to figure out where your comfort zone stops, go beyond that. And that's from all of the major philosophers that I've ever read say, you know, your freedom lies beyond your comfort zones. And I found that for myself to be true anyways.
And your comfort zone is just that.
It's just a zone that you're comfortable in. And that's it. It's like if you want to get fitter and healthier, then you go to the gym. Now, the first time you go to the gym, you're not going to feel comfortable. You're not going to know, you know, what people do, you know, how they act there. You know, should you have a towel? What should you wear? Oh, my God. But you go there, you know, 3 times a week for a year, and you're walking in, you know, like you own the place. You're comfortable there. That is your comfort zone. And all you've done is just go somewhere uncomfortable a few times and it becomes comfortable. That's it. It's not a process.
I mean, I living in Japan, you know, they have public baths. The first time I went to one, I was very uncomfortable because I mean, oh my goodness, there's a whole room of naked people here, right? And, you know, everyone's in the same bath, and I'm going, what a strange concept, you know, that you wash before. And then eventually you're going, oh, you know, I can see the community, the sociality, people do business. And now who cares? You know, I've gotten beyond my comfort zone, and you face whatever you're uncomfortable with, you know, in relation to how you are. And, I'm a much better man for it, let's say, not being shy in a public space where it's, you know, eventually you're figuring out it's just a bunch of monkeys taking a bath, right? So big deal.
Well, exactly. It's all just perspective, because they're probably all looking at Lorenzo walking in and feeling uncomfortable going, who's this guy? He doesn't know what he's doing. What's he doing? You know,
totally.
He hasn't got the tradition down. Like he's in my space.
Yeah. I've always had one or two old guys try and, you know, chat with me, sit me down. You wash over here, you dry over here, you do over here, and, you know, and then this is where you sit, and you sit over here for so long. It's an interesting concept, but as Cambell said, the more you go beyond your comfort zone, you know, now I find my power and my desire to be more uncomfortable as part of my makeup now, which, you know, you get a little uncomfortable, you keep going, and then you can become creatively responsible, which is what we're talking about here.
And that's when you start to see reality for what it is. And then, yeah, like you said, it becomes uncomfortable not to change. So it's almost uncomfortable to be comfortable, you know, because you can see that being comfortable is not good for you. It's stopping you from growing. It's stopping you from experiencing all these different things.
Yeah.
And basically it means you're the same as everyone else. And if you're the same as everyone else, you're going to get the same as everyone else. And look around, most people aren't that happy. So,
you know, and you can define what comfortable means for you anyways. I mean, if it means habits and the same and something you're not challenged with, it's an interesting way of looking at things. And to find where you're uncomfortable could just simply mean a direction to which you could grow, right? And that's how you become creative, right? Creatively responsible means I'm responsible personally for facing whatever's uncomfortable in my life, and by doing that, I'm learning more about myself. You know, I can hear my voice going, you can't go in a room with a bunch of naked people, you can't do this, you're too tall, you're too short, you're too fat, you're too skinny, you know, whatever. And then eventually you realize, you know, everyone's funny looking in their way from, you know, and then when you get beyond that, then you're suddenly more comfortable with yourself as well, because you realize, you know, everyone's different, everyone's funny, everyone's not funny, and you're the same in that way. And then you can put that stress behind you. It's about putting stress away, I find, because, you know, when your stress goes down, then your energy levels go up, and when your energy levels go up, you can be more creative.
Yeah, and stress is just worrying about what other people think about you, really. I mean, that's pretty much it. You know, unless it's a personal health issue or something, but really, you know, 95% is wondering what other people think about you. And the silly thing about that is, there's no way that you will ever know what other people are thinking about you. It's a complete waste of energy. You know, so you could be walking around going, oh my God, look, that guy gave me a funny stare. Oh my God, oh, what's wrong? Oh, bad energy. Everyone sucks. You know, he might have just had something in his eye. You know, he might have just been going, oh God, there's something in my eye. You just don't know. So yeah, I would say the big thing is, you know, don't judge. And I guess with responsibility, it's all about going inside. It's about understanding that we create our reality. So it's our inner world that literally creates our outer world. You know, what we think, what we believe creates how we act. And that, of course, creates, you know, what reflects back to us in the 3D world. And on a bigger scale, you know, energy and magnetics and everything, and thoughts and vibrations, we do attract to us what we put out, what we think. So it's all there. So I think responsibility is, I think it has to start with going inside, with really taking a look at yourself and asking the questions, or that, not even the hard questions, but the questions that we've been programmed to think are hard, right? The ones that we're not supposed to ask. You know, what's going on? Who am I really? You know, am I going in the right direction? Is this the best thing for me? Because too often we just sort of get these questions and we tend to go and ask other people, or we watch a show, listen, you know, and so the decisions we make aren't our own. And when the decisions you make aren't your own, the results you get aren't what you want. And then you get annoyed, and then most people start yelling at the world. But yeah, the answer is to go inside and reflect.
Yeah, so whatever you're facing, you know, if you have a hard outside situation, whatever it is, it's a good opportunity to find out more about yourself. That's taking responsibility for some circumstances that maybe on the outside don't look like they're your responsibility. You know, like, let's say someone's angry with you, or someone tries to hurt you, or someone insults you, or someone tries to take your job away. If you look at the, you know, viral shenanigans these days, or someone tries to mess up your children or your buddy, or whatever, or it doesn't allow you to travel. I mean, all of these things that are potentially challenges that everyone could be sitting with these days. And, you know, it's good to notice them, but then maybe to look at them and go, well, what am I learning about myself in this situation? You know, you're kind of taking responsibility for the situation. Even if the outside circumstances weren't so-called created by you, you're still responsible for being there, in my opinion. You know, even if the army runs into your home, right, and you're sitting on your easy chair having a margarita and watching, you know, watching a rerun of Three's Company. I don't know if they have that in Australia or whatever, some silly comedy show. And then you know, you're going, what are you doing here? Or you can get huffy, or you can go, oh my goodness, why did I ask for this situation? What am I learning about myself right now, and what do I have to do? And by not being in stress, you know, as Cambell said, then you'll be able to perhaps find a good answer for yourself in that situation as to how to be, what to do, and what comes next.
Yeah, and you can be prepared. I was a Boy Scout, and you know, that was what we were told: be prepared. And you know, from that, I sort of have the saying, you know, it's like when you're going out somewhere and someone's like, "Oh, should I take a jacket?" It's like, well, of course you should. You know, unless it's hard and you don't have the room, it's better to have something and not need it than to need something and not have it. You know, so it's all about being prepared. So if you're sitting, you know, in your home on your couch drinking margaritas and someone kicks your door in, you're probably not going to have the fitness to stand up and run away or to defend yourself. But that's because of all the decisions that you've made leading up to that point. You decided to drink the margaritas, to have the whatever, and not go to the gym. So, you know, at every point in our life, you know, the only person, if we want to blame, and blame's, you know, that's a game probably not worth playing, but it's always ourselves. We create everything ourselves. So instead of blame, just a better way is to just look inside and think, how did I create this? What am I thinking? What am I doing? And how do I change that? Because once you change it, you change your results. You know, things have to change for things to change.
You have to change for things to change, you know, and that makes things change. And that's the hardest part of, you know, making change and keeping the change, so to speak, is the change comes from being creatively responsible for everything in your life, I have found. In that you created it. I mean, there's another way of looking at it. We're really going to go metaphysical here, but you know, you create the responsibility and you're responsible for the creative aspects of your life, and then you can take more responsibility and become more creative. And it's a spiral. I would think it even maybe looks like your DNA and how you evolve, how you grow up. You know, Cambell and I have both done lots of chats with other folks about, you know, metaphysically becoming stronger and ascension. I mean, whatever you want to call it. I think, you know, you just grow up and put your big boy or big girl pants on, if you like, and decide that, you know, everything in life is for you to choose, decide, and see about where you would like to go by becoming responsible.
And responsibility, I mean, it's
putting on your big boy or girl pants.
It's having the courage to believe in yourself is all it is. Because when you think about it, all these negative thoughts, all these restrictive thoughts that we have, you know, I can't do this, oh, it's so hard, the world's so bad, they don't come from you. They come from the outside world, and this is living in reverse. This is taking the outside world and bringing it inside, when what we need to do is get the inside world and take it outside, because then we're in control.
Because then we're creating reality.
You know, if we're to create reality, it starts and then goes out. It's not the other way around. Right. So this is the choice. What do you want to be? Do you want to be
in control?
Or do you want to be this person who is on their deathbed and you're thinking, why? Why did I believe other people? Didn't I just live my life?
Because at that point, you're going to understand that
it's all crap. So better to understand it now while you've still got life to live. And, you know, just understand it's just, you know, all these negative things that we have and all these responses we get from people, again, that's just their programming. That's not even what they think. You know, they just take on people's programs and pass it on to other people, and people love to pass on the negative, and you end up with this big pile of crap. So reject it and just understand that's just all people who aren't thinking. They're taking on opinion, and start thinking for yourself and seeing that. And when you do, then you can be in the world, but not of it. You know, you can say, yeah, it's like you can look around and go, wow, it's just a movie. Look at all this. And then the next stage is you get to start to control it. Yeah. Oh, I wonder what I could do here. How can I change reality? And that's when it gets fun.
Yeah, because if you recall, you're living from the inside out, not the outside in, and you don't like the outside. You don't try and change the outside. You try and change the inside, and then the outside changes. So no sense putting your pressure or stress or efforts where they won't change anything. You know, you could yell at one angry person in the room, and maybe they'll leave, but then the next day another one's going to show up if you haven't changed on the inside. Grass ain't greener, you know, on the other side of the road or the other country, because you bring your grass with you.
Yeah, I think it was from the Brady Bunch movie. And Mr. Brady said, what did he say? Just remember, Greg, wherever you go, that's where you are. And it's true. It's just you in a different surrounding. You know, we get this sort of concept in the 3D world that when we move, you know, that we've moved somewhere different and everything's changed in, you know, in the environment and that, but that's not true. That's not how reality works. It's just you going through different experiences, but with your perception. And it's until you change that perception, you're not going to change what you see. That's why people keep doing the same things over and over. You know, we know this. Oh, they're always unlucky in love. Oh, that person, they've started 15 businesses. They just can't get it going. Oh, you know, this person, you know, all the time, just health issues. I don't, you know. And they keep repeating, but on the same hand, it's like, oh, everything they touch turns to gold. Oh, they're just so happy. You know, everyone loves to have this person around. You know, you can be what you want to be. You change it. So it's habit. You know, if you believe money's hard to get, you're going to be that person. Like, oh, yeah, poor old Michael. You know, every time he tries to start a business, he goes broke. But that's just you creating that. So that can change that.
I don't want to sound like I've got it all figured out or I'm on top of the heap telling people what to do, because every day I have these challenges. Every day I'm going, why did this suck? Why did that suck? You know, even this morning, even yesterday, I'm going, oh my goodness. So it's just kind of a process for myself on a day-to-day basis that I'm always using and looking at. So, you know, there are no kings of the hill in this. I'm just simply sharing what I found to be a responsible path for figuring out how to be more creative in your life.
That's the thing. We're creating this every day, and as we go forward, you know, the more we understand it's us and it's our responsibility, you know, to create our thoughts, to create our world, then it becomes more fun. You know, the stress kind of goes away. It's when you're at, you know, when you can't control things, that's stressful, right? And when you can't control things is when it's all physical. You know, because you really can't. And of course, society wants to tell you, look, you know, if you're feeling bad about yourself, well, all you need to do is spend $1,500 on a new outfit, maybe go get a loan, get a new car, you know, a bit of plastic surgery, maybe, who knows, you know, health, right? Of course it doesn't. It doesn't. If it did, people would get one plastic surgery and that would stop. But we know that's not the case. They keep going and going and going and going. And so we have the other scenario where people change their inner world, everything on the outside changes, and these people body transforms as well. They'd start looking younger, they start looking fitter and healthier because they're more own. So, you know, everything we've been is backwards. It's definitely an inner game, but once you start seeing that you control, stress goes. It's happy. It's fun, and it becomes a challenge. If things go bad, it's just like, oh, well, that didn't work, and you laugh about it. And you're trying different. It's never an earth-shattering thing. It's just when you don't know what you're doing, and you just want so much for something to work, but you're from the outside world in, and you're like, I just need to do this. I just need a loan to get my business, and this person said this, and this person said this, and you're state of stress. You're not thinking for yourself, and it can't work, and you're going to end up worse than where you started, and then that again will put you in that cycle. Oh well, the world sucks. See, I tried and nothing ever works, and there you go. You spiral down. So this is the whole trick: is to catch yourself and go, look, and it doesn't have to be, I'm wrong, I'm going to change my life. You can just think, what if I just changed this one thought? I wonder what would happen. maybe it's true, maybe it's not. Give it a go. You know, maybe if I start walking down the street and smiling at everyone, and have the thought that everyone's nice and everyone's like me, maybe something will happen. Just start with little baby steps. You don't have to go out and change the world tomorrow. But if you start the journey, you'll change yourself and the world every day. And you know, who knows where you'll be in 5, 10, 15 years.
Even if nowhere new, you'll be a better person. So then you'll be somewhere new. You know, it's hard to talk about the metaphysical aspects of third and fourth and fifth dimensional alterations, we'll say, but it does really begin by understanding that you're in charge of yourself and your life. And, you know, circling back maybe to the beginning of this, worrying about what people think, probably no one's thinking about you. Probably everyone's just thinking about themselves like you are, like I am. For mostly in the day, everyone's mostly considering their own lives and moving through things, and no one's that important to any people. You know, maybe you're married or you have kids, you're more important to the people directly related to your life, but everyone on the outside, no one's seriously considering you the way you can and you do. Probably no one gives a shit, to be perfectly honest. It's just you with yourself and your energy, and then you get to see where to go from there. Oh my goodness, we haven't even looked at any memes yet.
No, we haven't. We've had a bit of a chat. I've got a couple here I can bring up. The first meme says, it's from the I Ching, when your inner world comes into order, your outer world will come into order. There you go, basic wisdom from the I Ching. So even back, you know, when we go back into ancient teachings, they're always saying the same thing. You can look at all the great teachers. They're always talking about the inner world. You know, change your inner world, change your outer world. But we seem to have forgotten that, because obviously everyone's, you know, we're trained to think of the outer world first. It's all the outer world, the outer world, the outer world. But that's clearly not working for most people. You know, look where we've got it. Look where we've ended up.
And even if you look at the inner world to the outer world, I mean, and you look at our outer world being crazy right now for the most part, or for some people, or at least a lot crazier than it used to be, I would find to understand why your inner world is so crazy, how you got here, you know, what brought you to this place. I mean, maybe if you're watching too much TV, or you're on the cell phone too much, or the computer, and you're watching too much information come from the outside to the inside, you can see even on an unconscious level, maybe where you're creating the kind of reality you're living in. I mean, I was forced for a day or two to not be on the computer. Even just a few days ago, I had other things to do. Some things weren't working. And suddenly, you know, some of the poetry and some of the writing I wanted to do just started to show up, you know, because I gave myself the space. I was responsible for turning off all of the outside influences. And then my inner world got quiet and my inner world got creative, and whatever. I could hear a crow. I could hear the wind. I could hear children laughing, whatever. I could hear birds out the window. I took a walk. I could hear the leaves falling off the trees. It's kind of fall here in Japan right now. And from there, you know, inspiration started flowing. So I took responsibility even for what I was doing in my day, where I was spending my time, what I was doing with my awareness, what I was doing with my eyes and my ears, simply by turning off some of the information that's brought us so many fears. I was able to bring about a different sort of creative reality for myself in that day. You know, something I've been trying to do for weeks, but just wasn't happening until I literally turned off one source of information, then another one started to flow. So that could be another way to take responsibility, by being responsible for what you let into your body. You know, whether it's food, if you're getting too fat or unhealthy, or you know, lack of oxygen. If you are a mask or a double or a triple mask wearer, maybe you need that oxygen to enhance your consciousness, or, you know, even just the ability to get more sleep or more rest or better nutrition. And that is how you can be responsible for the vehicle that makes the creative world you live in.
Definitely. You know, be aware of what you're taking in. You know, we have, you know, these games, right? And gamers, and some people, you know, will spend days playing a game, or this whole Netflix and binge thing, you know, or what is it, Netflix chill or whatever, where people will sit down and watch 10 hours of one show. Now, when you do that, you'll find that in the next couple of days, this stuff will be running in your head. You'll literally be getting flashes of this game you're playing or whatever. Now, I would take note of that. I mean, what's going on? You've put that so much of one information, been so focused on one thing, that it's literally starting to manifest in your mind. And this is it's a good example because it's starting to give you the thoughts. You know, if you're playing a game all the time, then you're starting to see it, and no doubt you're seeing, you know, I could have done this better, or whatever. Now, imagine if that into something you want. You know, if that focus time, instead of going into a game of running around and killing people, and if it was focusing on, so you want to build a new business, a new craft you want to do, a new skill you want to enhance, you know, and of giving back. If you put the same focus into that, your mind would do the same thing. Just like Lorenzo said, you'd start getting sparks of creativity about what you can do. And this is, it's stop and smell the roses too. We definitely need to give ourselves the space to get creative, because you can't go from TV to computer, you know, to social media on the phone, and then sit down and expect our mind to instantly be relaxed and start giving us good information. You know, you do that and you've got to spend an hour or so calming down and getting all that stuff out. So yeah, definitely be very, very careful of what you're taking on a daily basis.
Yeah, and as Cambell said earlier, you know, we're living in a backwards world. If you're waiting for a happy feeling or a good response or a pat on the back before you make the change, you could be waiting forever. You know, it's usually the action comes first when you're uncomfortable, and then the happiness comes afterwards. It's like you have to earn that new feeling, the new creativity. You know, every day there's a certain time when I study Japanese, because my Japanese is still very small. And every day my body's telling me, or my brain, you're too tired, you're too lazy, it's better to watch TV, go read a book, you know, indulge in 100 of things. But if I get over that, and I don't always, then happiness comes. Right? I'm laughing, I'm feeling good, I'm feeling groovy, because different parts of my consciousness are waking up by studying a different language, and through that my creativity is growing, my humor is growing, I'm understanding language, I'm understanding how people communicate. It's like amazing the new pathways that are forming by taking responsibility for that time. And the trick is realizing, and I have for myself, that whenever I get to that moment, there is a part of me that wants to stop, never wants to go, never wants to be uncomfortable, never wants to go into that area. But it's always wrong. Right? Because, you know, it's like climbing the mountain and you get to the top and then you see the beautiful sunset or sunrise and you go, that was worth it. But you never know till you get there. You know, you can't be, you know, there's no guarantee when you're responsible and you're moving somewhere new that it's going to be good, bad, or ugly. But that's part of the challenge of being responsible for your life and being creative, is to go anyways if you're feeling like it, and not to allow the other part of you that may be not feeling like it, let's say.
Yeah, again, it's like going to the gym, right? You've got to build up your mental muscles. You know, it's not going to be easy at the start to change your habits, because that's what they are. They're habits. It's just something that happens automatically. So that's why you've got to go in and change these and be on the ball to make change. Because literally that's what we're changing, is the program that's running around. And normally it runs in circles. So you just want to start pushing it in a different direction. And once you do that, yeah, like you open yourself up to possibility. This is the other thing, is we may have visions of where we want to be, but once we really, you know, start focusing on our inner world and what we want and what our skills are and what we can give, then normally the experiences we get are much, much more than we expected. You know, we can't imagine what the creator can, put it that way. So it's also about, you know, this trust thing. You know, do you believe that there's a creator that is good
and that's got your back?
You know, because once you believe that, then you can pretty much take anything on.
But if it's a 3D world
full of evil people and bad people running the show and rah, then it's very hard. You know, it's very hard to change anything. And so, yeah, trust, guys. I mean, there is a creator. If you don't believe in a creator, well, I mean, that's your journey. I would say, you know, look at nature. Just start going out and looking at the creation. Because that's a big key. That's what they're trying to steal from us. That's what we're taught. All of this stuff doesn't exist. The ether doesn't exist. You know, wisdom. You know, no, you can't just tap into knowledge from you know, the atmosphere. What are you talking about? But when we look back in history and all the old teachings and all the old books, that's all we get. They got messages from God. They spoke to God. Oh my God, visions. That's all that's all our story is, but they're trying to tell us that that's not true. So, you know, once you start thinking, like I said, it's a journey, but you really start to see through the whole charade, and it just breaks down. And as it breaks down, you build up and you get more powerful because you understand that it's just a show and you can control it. And that's the end game, right? But saying that, it's a journey. You never hit you never hit a place where it's like, yes, I got there. All right, I control my mind now. It's all a journey. So like Lorenzo said, we're not where we want to be, but no one is. If you're at a place where you've got nothing, no more goals, well, that's a problem. But what we are is we're happy. We enjoy our lives. We're going forward. We feel like we're giving value. We're seeing good results come back. So that's why we're here chatting. Even because we can definitely help you.
Even doing this Odyssey was an inspiration. One day just said, the world just whispered that wisdom from the ether said, do this. And I said, all right. I called Cambell. He said, sounds good. And here we are.
Yeah, and that's how Autodidactic got started too. I didn't. It's not like I thought, oh, I'm going to be this famous. Not that I'm famous or anything.
I just made a video because I thought, oh, some people might find this interesting.
And they did. And I went, oh, and I kept going. And as I did that, I had to learn new things. I had to learn how to make videos and get all the information and all this stuff and start going, and it expands your world. And then you start getting all these experiences coming that you
didn't expect.
You meet all these people and it's like, wow, how did this happen? And it all started from just a bit of faith and a different thought. Let's make a video. Oh, okay. Why not? Give it a go. And then, look, here I am, right? I'm making videos all the time. I'm talking to interesting people. I'm contributing. So this is the thing. Like I said, it doesn't have to be something big. Just make a decision that's something different and follow it through. As long as it feels good to you, in your being, as long as it feels right, then it is. If it feels like, oh, dodgy, well, stop. It's not good. You can put as much energy into that as you want and it won't work. It's got to feel right. But yeah, just give it a go, guys. You never know. You never know. And I could have put up a video and it could still be sitting there with no views. And it would have been, oh, well, no worries. And I'd be doing something else. I wouldn't be sitting there crying going, oh, my God, now YouTube hates me too. Because the truth is, YouTube it has millions of channels and videos with no views. That's the norm, so just take a chance. Yeah.
Be creative, be responsible. One of the other sides of looking at this, let's say, is allow the world to help you with that, with your creative responsibility. Understand that perhaps if you're seeing things that you don't like in your life, it's maybe you take responsibility for someone being angry, let's say, or someone being mean, or someone being somehow in a way that you don't like. You can take responsibility for what you don't like in them inside yourself. That could be another aspect of looking at this. If you're looking at them and you're saying, well, they're too fat, they're too stupid, they're too tall, they're too angry, they're too mean, they're too rude, they're too early, they're too late, whatever, what have you. And, you can get angry, or you can begin to take responsibility by saying, well, why did I ask for this situation where this person's in my face? Like, why are they here? Why are they sharing this with me? Why are they being mean or whatever? And probably, again, I'll just talk about myself. It's showing you an aspect of yourself that you don't like about yourself, coming to reflect that to you. And by taking responsibility, even by their poor actions, even though you're not really responsible for them, then you become responsible for your poor actions that are related to what they're showing you in relation to your poor actions. And this could be a way. I can hear a lot of the questions, from the beginning of our chat when people are going, well, how do I change my inner world? How do I know? How do I see if something's not working, what to do? And, that's kind of a simple way, is if you see something you don't like, and I'll talk to some of the people that have seen things they don't like in some of our videos. Well, I would say, look back into yourself and see why you don't like that. I'm not saying we're right all the time, because I'm wrong all the time, right? But it's more like, why is that pissing you off? Why is that niggling you or giving you some pain? And I bet you if you're honest with yourself, you'll learn something useful, and then you'll be able to take what we're sharing on creativity and become more creative by understanding your creative responsibility for the things outside of yourself. Perhaps that's another way that you could put this journey, this Odyssey, you know, this video to your own good use, because it's still about how you pick up your own pieces and bring them back to yourself. So I would say, and it's been a hard one for me, right, to love the garbage in front of my eyes as the garbage inside my consciousness somehow, let's say, for a poetic way of putting it.
Yeah, everyone is a teacher and everyone is a student. I mean, the way I do look at life is it's a reflection, right? I mean, you can look at life as I'm just in this, I'm just in it. Oh my God, random events. Or you can look at it as this is all created by me for me. Therefore, everyone's a teacher, and also everyone's a student. There's something that you've got that you can teach, and I don't mean sit down and teach them. There's something that you can say to everyone that they'll go, oh, and there's something that can say to you that you'll go, oh, I've never thought of that before. So treat it like that. You know, if like Lorenzo said, if something's coming up like I really don't like that person, why? This is how we start to grow. You stop. You close your eyes, you go, why don't I like them? And you figure that out. And then you think, well, is that in me? Do I have some of these traits? Because, you know, this is it. If you don't like something in someone else, it is because you don't like that trait in yourself. That is the only reason. It really is. And you can kid yourself all day long that it's not. And you can leave us, you know, comments. But I'm not going to step back on that. That's just the truth. You know, life's proven that to me for 14 years. So everyone's a teacher. Learn from everyone. The same, if you see something, if you meet people and you just like that person, you know, or what is it about that person? Same thing. Go inside. What is it? Is it just because they're nice, they smile? What's the trait? What's the quality? And then try and build that in yourself. You know, how do they do that? Start with mimicking. If they smile at people, start with the physical, and then it will turn into more. You know, fake it till you make it, as they say, right? But this is it. Yeah, it's all about. So you use other people as a litmus test. If you don't like them, it's about you. If you do like them, it's about you. You know, I mean, bring everything back to the self.
Yeah, it's the positive of the narcissistic way that this society looks at itself, when it's looking at the outside, you know, the beautiful or the happy or the sexy or the young or whatever, the rich, the baubles, you know, the shiny rings or cars or whatever. You know, really, if you just turn that to one side and you really do care about yourself, you know, and you do care about how you look, as Cambell said, you can get younger, you can get sexier, you can get healthier, you can have that glow, you can appear richer by changing your inside world first. You know, and then the outside will naturally change. And it's something you can keep, right? You know, you can lose a car, you can lose a job, you can lose your youth, you know, you can lose a ring or a relationship, whatever's keeping you happy. But you get that change on the inside. It can never be lost because it's in a place that can never be taken from you, only given willingly away.
Yeah, you can never lose knowledge. And again, you know, we hear this all the time, right? You know, with people who've made money. We have quotes like, you know, yeah, I could lose it all and I'll just make it all back because it's what I know, you know, and as you touched on, it's this whole, everything's inverted, right? If you like someone, you know, it's because what? They've got a big house or you like their car or you like the clothes they wear. So go out and spend lots of money. That's not true. The reason you like them is not because of their car or their money. It's because of who they are, and who they are put them in a position where they got to experience what they wanted. Nice cars, houses, all this kind of stuff. It's not the material. We need to focus on it. It's what we're creating the material, because everything is created twice, right? Everything is first created here as a thought. It has to be. And then it can be created in the physical world. Nothing can be created in the physical world if it's not first a thought. That can't happen. So it's a thought-based reality. So, yeah, everything's created twice. So create your world, guys. Create it in your mind and see it manifest for you. Be later and the creation.
Unless it's coming from the creator, and then it's something different. You can see, you can tell what doesn't come from you. I mean, I was walking down the street the other day feeling a bit blue, There were some flowers blooming. It was a hot day in November here. And I literally noticed 8 different kinds of bees on these yellow flowers. Like I counted the different species of bees here, right? And, you know, small to big and dangerous to tiny. And it was just, it blew me away for a second. You know, as Cambell said earlier, anybody doesn't think that there's not a creator, you know, you just look at something like that and you can tell the AI and the monsters and the politicians and all these fucking assholes that tell you, you know, life is boring, life is this, and you're a slave and then you die. Really, you should tell them to fuck off, in my opinion, because, you know, you look at anything beautiful on the outside, talk to any original native person, anything about nature, any of the old masters, anything like that. And it doesn't take, you know, 2 cents of a little baby's, you know, working brain cells to figure out how beautiful this world can be, how creative it is. You were created. You know, you'll see at the end of your days when that creative spark is gone and you're not Cambell or Lorenzo and your time here is ticking to a close. Man, you're going to wish you had extra time to grab whatever and create what you didn't create when you had the chance to create it. So, you know, Cambell talked about it earlier. While you're here, while you're breathing, while you're young and active, or young enough and active enough, and genki, or means strong in Japanese, you know, powerful enough, get off your ass and do it. You know, and any of these people that have excuses for us, you know, they can go to another channel. They don't have to watch these. I always wonder why people go, oh, don't do this and don't say that and don't, you know. I think we're just hitting the wound that you need to address. You know, instead of telling us we're wrong, probably maybe you could sit down and tell us how we're right. And then you'll grow up. I mean, I have to do that. In when people call me an asshole, I have to go, oh, how are they right? You know, when I'm doing bad interviews or bad this or bad whatever, I hear it all the time from people in my life. They go, you could do this better. You know, how was I wrong? And then become a better person. So once again, responsibility.
Yeah. And it's always the ones who have never done it who love to say you should do it, isn't it?
Yeah.
And why would you ever listen to someone like that? It's like you listen to someone with results that you want. Oh, I tried and look what I got. Oh, cool. I'll give that a go. I tried nothing. You should do this. Maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
And what I'd like to say, because, you know, obviously I see this a lot. When I see negative comments, I literally just ignore them. I don't delete them. I just literally ignore them. Now, but my question is always, what thought process goes on in someone's head when they read something or see something that they don't like, and they have to make the decision, okay, I'm going to stop my life and I'm going to write some negativity, put some negative stuff out in the universe, just because I mean, I don't get that thought process. I don't understand why people need to stop and go, I don't like this. Well, great. Who cares? It's
because they don't want to change.
Cares if you like it or don't like it.
I think they're little.
Like, go and do something else.
I think their heart is telling them to change, so they're feeling pain. So instead, like, I mean, that's the other thing about taking responsibility. So if you see something or read something or feel something you don't like, and it needs to change in your life, it's like any other wound. You're going to feel some pain, because that's how you know you're hurt. Exactly. If you cut yourself, you hurt your arm, you hurt your head, you've got pain, and it's just your body's way of saying, pay attention to this part. Same on the psychic level. So if someone reads something we're done and they don't like, or they're watching something we don't like, they're going to feel some pain. So they have 2 choices, in my opinion, right? They can address the pain, or they can blame someone for the pain. If they, you know, and maybe blame makes them feel better for a moment and they go about their life, but the pain ain't going to change. Someone else will just bring it up another point down the road, that they're putting a Band-Aid on the pain instead of healing the pain. So I say to all those viewers that have left nasty comments or if you're feeling some pain about what we're, you know, sharing, good. Address the pain. Understand why you're feeling the pain. And maybe if you heal it instead of pointing a finger, it won't bother you the next time, and something will change that will allow you to become more creatively responsible, and perhaps something you're missing in your life will show up. But first, you know, you break a leg, you got to heal it before you walk again. Kind of like that.
Yeah. Do you want to be right, or do you want to be happy? You know, I mean, seriously, just let it go. All this stuff about I have to be right, people have to do it this way. Guys, get real. Look at your results. Look at your results. If people should live the way that you live and you're right about everything, I'm going to tell you a secret. You're not going to need to tell anyone. They will notice. Yeah. Okay? They will notice. Yeah. I guarantee you. Guarantee you, it's not your job to go out there and say, look at me, look at me. It's just your job to live your life. Yep. Now, It's not your job to tell anyone how to live their life, because I know that everyone watching this, if I came up to you and said, you must do this, and we're getting this, you know, all over the place, right? You have to live this way. You have to, you're going to turn around and give me the finger. Okay. So if you don't want to be told what to do, don't tell others what to do. And it's pretty simple stuff. Treat others as you wish to be treated. You know, these are all, you know, truth is simple. Truth can be said in 2 lines. You know, if you need, you know, a paragraph or a book to try and get your point of view across, it's not truth. It's not. Truth is simple. So, yeah, guys, if things are getting to you, go inside. Look inside. I mean, it's your choice. You can yell at the world. But if you're going to do that, look at the results that gives you. Because it's a spiral down. You're going to say, oh, well, everyone's wrong. They should do this. So you're going to start yelling at people. When you start yelling at people, people are going to go, I don't like that person. And then you're going to say, see, look, I'm right. Everyone sucks. They don't like me. I mean, you're proving right there. It shows you that you're creating your own reality and proving yourself right all the time. So prove yourself right on a different level. You know, prove it right that you're powerful. Prove it right that you can create whatever you want. Prove it right that you can meet Mr. or Mrs. Right. Prove it right that, you know, that you're a creator, you know, and that you're in this world, and that you for a reason, you know, and that you're part of it. You know, choose something else to be right about. You know, and anybody,
you know, yeah, of course, anybody that may be missing this, maybe when we're coming to the end, I hear a bit of an echo this time, but anyways, and anyway, we're coming to the end. You know, we're going to discuss in future casting, podcast talks, what have you, inspirations and imagination, you know, because that's the other side of how you can learn to become creatively responsible, to figure out there's always more. You know, if it's an infinite universe and you've been here 100 years, if you live 200 years, there's always more to learn. There's no way in the world you know everything. It's impossible to have all the bits of knowledge about everything. You know, all the smartest people in the world have finally realized when they get to their 50s or 60s, you know, they're the happiest realizing they don't know anything. And from that point, they start to learn way more about everything. So, you know, take it on the chin that there's more to imagine. There's more to be inspired by. Some of the other Odysseys we're going to journey on, I'm hoping we'll touch base on those subjects. Maybe we'll get more metaphysical. You know, we're coming up to the middle of this series of 8. You know, this is the 3rd. We're going to do a 4th. You know, perhaps we're talking on the physical level, and on the other 4 on the back end, so to speak. Well, we'll get into the metaphysical, the higher levels, the imaginative levels of things, as we can explain them in ways that is really hard to explain in the 3D world anyways. And maybe there'll be more pictures and songs and dance or some kind of creative interpretations involved.
Yeah, we did have pictures organized, but this sort of chat's just gone on. So it's a fairly picture-free chat. But yeah, I think, you know, the main thing that we want to get across is this is all choice, and to change yourself, you need to make a decision, and you need to just take time. Just take quiet time, sit down, and your mind will start working. You know, people are like, how do I start this? That's it. Like Lorenzo said, turn off the computer, turn off the telly, go and sit in a quiet room, go and sit in nature and just be quiet and see what happens. And also, you know, just view yourself as you're here to learn. If things are, you know, piss you off, why? If things make you happy, why? And it's a very simple process. It's like, if it annoys you, how do you get less of that? If you like it, how do you get more of that? And that's it. That's literally it, where it starts. You know, we can talk about meditation, and definitely I would, you know, recommend people do that, but there's meditations everywhere. You know, just go find some on YouTube, you know, or binaural beats or whatever. Start with guided meditations. You know, all that stuff, that's all there. You've got all the tools and resources you need, and they're all free. But the main thing is you need to make that decision to do it.
One thing I'm going to
start somewhere.
Yeah, one thing I'm going to suggest, the editors reminded me of, you know, I don't like tooting our own horn, but come to newagora.ca. Got 10 years of information there. A lot of it related to this. A lot of good people there that can help. A lot of people that do counseling. A lot of people that shared how they got to where they're going. There's some great articles on music and creative imaginations and what's going on in the world as well, and how to get better, how to grow your own food, etc., etc. There's nothing but good information on how to be creatively responsible. Become a creator, not a repeater. you know. And you know, the problem with the world right now is everyone's repeating, and that is not creating. That's just becoming a dumbass follower, and then you become, you know, and you know, you're gonna put your head where your ass is, and you're gonna live that way. It sounds to me like it's stinky. You know, be a creator. Do what you would love. Don't care what people think, as Cambell said. No one cares anyways. Only you should care about your life. And then who knows, you know, what's going to happen when your imagination and your inspiration and the other parts of you that are perhaps you're going to figure out have been asleep your whole life are starting to wake up again. And my goodness, so much fun, so much beauty waiting. You just got to get off your ass and go there.
Life is fun. I mean, if life wasn't good, then why would we be able to, you know, stare at the ocean and be happy? Why would we be able to go into a forest and it makes us happy? If the world wasn't a good place, if it was evil, why would that exist? You know, we get to see whatever we want, and it's all a choice and all a decision. And of course, nobody knows everything, guys. So stop listening to all these people, you know, because like I used to say to my boys all the time, the people who know everything are the dumbest, the stupidest people on the earth, clearly.
Can you repeat that, Cambell? Can you repeat that? It's skipped, and I want to hear it.
So people who know everything are the stupidest people on earth, clearly, because can you know everything? No, you can't. We know that unless you're God, which you're not. And so if you know everything, can you learn anything? Of course you can't, right? So these people, of course, they don't know everything, but they think they do, so they can't learn anything. So they're clearly the stupidest people out there. Don't listen to them.
Don't listen to them. You know, I used to think I knew everything, and I was the stupidest young man in the world, pretty much. And I got to a point where I thought I knew everything. And I can remember coming home from work one day, because I was making some money at the time when I was living in Toronto. And I said, man, I have it made. I know everything. But I have spent 30 years getting kicked in the ass to prove to me since that moment how wrong I was. I didn't know that shit. You know, and I'm still learning every day, which is great. Feeling good about it.
Yep. Exactly. And we can take it any way you want, you know. Lorenzo could still be crying in the corner going, oh my God, the world sucks.
Yeah.
But he's not. He's moved on, made different decisions, and that's the choice we all get to make. So thank you for joining us, guys. Remember, there are links below. We have a Telegram channel. Come and join the conversation. And also
freedomshift.life.
Click on that if you're looking to make a shift in freedom. And, of course, leave us comments. There you go. Thank you, Lorenzo. A bit of a different one, a bit more of a podcasty chat type one there, but I think we did well. So hope you got something out of that. Please share it around as well, guys. Share this material around if you think it's going to be helpful for other people. Get the word out there because, of course, everything's changing. The new world is coming. And we're here to help bring it in and create it.
Yep. Keep an eye on our Telegram channel and group. We'll be listing what comes up as it comes up and more besides. So you'll never miss an addition or an issue. Some are on Cambell's channel, some are on mine, some are going to be on both. So you'll be able to follow through that way. And we're delighted for any and all feedback. Even the nasty stuff helps me laugh these days. So thank you so much for joining us. I love you all very much, and I appreciate your time.
And we'll talk to you all on the next upload on the Odyssey of Truth. Bye for now.
Can't make me lie to my heart. No one tells me where I should start. Freedom first is what I say.